If you want to learn how to make some really cute, patriotic, and 4th of July home decor, then just keep watching. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you guys are new, my name's Liz. For today's video, I have some really fun and easy DIYs for patriotic and 4th of July decor. I hope that you guys love this. If you guys want to see a part 2 with wood DIYs for patriotic and 4th of July, let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. For this DIY, I'm going to grab one of these mason jar signs that you can pick up from the Dollar Tree, $1.25. I'm going to start by removing this metal piece from the top and setting that to the side because we are going to use it later. And I am going to use the back as the front for this one. And I'm going to take some washi tape and I just start sectioning off my mason jar. I'm going to use Dixie, Belle, Bunker Hill Blue, and Barn Red for my paint colors. And I started painting on the bottom, decided I want to paint on the top portion of this. So I'm going to use that Bunker Hill Blue to give the top portion of my mason jar 2 good coats. You don't really have to paint the very top because we are going to use that metal piece that we took off from the front on it. So if you don't want to paint that, then don't worry because we're just going to be covering it up later. And then I'm going to remove that washi tape, make sure my paint is all the way dry, and then take another piece of washi tape, add it on top of that blue that we just painted right on that line so it all matches up nice and even. And I'm going to start by painting this white, which accidentally painting that portion of the sign blue made this a little difficult, so I had to do 2 good coats of white to make sure that I got that blue covered up. But I'm just going to paint the entire thing white, and then after I've painted that white and it's all nice and dry, I'm going to take some more washi tape and I'm going to start sectioning off the white portion for some stripes. I tried my best to get this as even as I possibly could, tried to do it about an 1.5 inches between each of my washi tape pieces. You can see that the sides are not totally even, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to take that red color from Dixie Belle and I'm going to paint my red stripes, and I did give each stripe about 2 coats of paint. And then before they completely dried, I'm just going to remove my washi tape. I did have a little bit of bleeding, but nothing too crazy. I didn't worry about touching it up. Now I'm going to take these wood cut out stars. These are actually stars that we cut out with our laser machine. If you guys are interested in kind of like a shapes, you know, a pack of shapes, different sizes, let me know in the comments down below. I've thought about doing that, but where you can get them at other stores pretty easily is kind of why we've hesitated. So I'm sure that you could go out to Hobby Lobby and find stars like this, but I just didn't have time to go there, so I just cut them out myself. But again, if that's something that you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments below. So I just took a white paint pen and just painted all of my stars white. Now I'm going to take that galvanized piece that came with the sign. I'm going to add some hot glue to the back, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of my mason jar. And then I just laid out my stars in the pattern that I wanted them to be in, and I just started hot gluing those down to the top. I used about 4 of the big ones and 3 of the small ones. And then just for a little added touch, I took my white paint pen, kind of drew some lines around it just to give it a little bit more detail so it wasn't looking so plain. You could do this with a black paint pen if you wanted. You could do squiggly lines instead of straight. Definitely doesn't have to be perfect because mine is not. I just added a little bit more detail to make it a little bit more fun. Now I'm going to make a bow by taking several different kinds of ribbon. I have a lot from the Dollar Tree and then I think some from Michael's. And I used 4 different kinds and I cut out 3 pieces per kind of ribbon that I was using. I also grabbed some of this mesh from the Dollar Tree, cut out the blue portion to the length that I needed it, and then cut it into 3 different sections. And then I'm just going to start by crossing them all on top of each other. This is just a messy bow. This does not have to be perfect by any means. I just kind of made it into sort of an X where it kind of all just met in the middle, and where it met in the middle I took some twine and tied it in a knot and then just wrapped that twine around the middle several times and then tied a double knot in the back. And that's all you have to do for the messy bow. Really, there's not a technique to this. If you are a brand new beginner crafter, you can do this. This takes really no time at all, and I think it looks really cute. So after you're done making that, you're just going to hot glue it to the side of your mason jar. You could add a hanger on this to hang it on your door or in a wreath, but I just think it looks cute on a shelf. For this DIY, you're going to need some of this Edge Supply wood trim. You're also going to need one of these stars that you can get from the Dollar Tree. Some scrapbook paper. I'm going to take my God Bless America 12x12 scrapbook paper pack from my website. And then I'm going to take this wooden sign from Hobby Lobby. I got this around Christmas time last year, and I still had it in my stash. So I'm going to finally use that. And I'm going to start by measuring out a frame with that wood trim that I got off of Amazon. I'll have that linked down below. I have been obsessed with this lately. If you've seen any of my past recent videos, you know that I've been loving this. So I'm just taking that and I just measured out for a frame around all four sides, and you're just going to cut out 4 pieces. I just stained it with my Waverly Wax and Antique, and I'm also going around all 4 sides of the sign so that the sign matches the frame and it's not, you know, a brown frame and then you look at the side of the sign and it's white. So I just painted that with the wax from Waverly and made that all the same. Now the nice thing about this wood trim that I really like is the backside has an adhesive, glue to it that is activated when you heat it up. So I take my heat gun and go right on top of it, and that activates the glue, and all I got to do is push that down onto my sign and it's all nice and stuck down there. So I just do that with all 4 pieces that I have cut out with that wood trim and just put it on my sign. It's really as simple and easy as that, which is another reason why I've been super obsessed with this stuff lately. Now I'm going to take that star I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take my scrapbook paper and I am going to pick out a piece of paper that I think is going to look good for this DIY. I found this one that is the Star Spangled Banner song, the music on there. I thought this would be really fun. So I just traced this out with a pen and I cut this out with my scissors. Again, I'll have my website linked down below. It's moorevinyldecals.com. I have several of these left, so if you're interested, grab them before they're gone because my patriotic paper always goes really fast and I only restock it if I get a bunch of people on the wait list. So if it's something that you want, grab it or sign up for the wait list if it ends up selling out so that I know that you guys want it. So I'm just going to use a glue stick to adhere that paper to my star, and I go around the edges with a small paintbrush in my Waverly Wax and Antique, kind of run my finger along the edges to give it a nice smeared and rusty look to it, and so it looks nice and worn, and I just go around all the sides of the star. Now I wanted to make a little bow for this, so I'm going to take my twine, wrap it around 2 of my fingers twice, take an excess piece of twine and wrap that around the middle of my twine, tie it in a double knot, and you have a super cute little twine bow. So I just add some hot glue to the back, hot glue it to the top of my star. I cut my tails down so it's not hanging too far over, and then I add my hot glue to the back of the star and hot glue that right into the middle of my sign. And that's it for this DIY. I think that this looks really cute and really fun if you're looking for some more just neutral patriotic decor. I think this one is really fun. This DIY is super easy. You're going to take one of these small block signs from the Dollar Tree. It has burlap on the back, which I really like, and I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to remove the paper on the front of the sign. Now, what I'm going to use next to cover this up is, you know, a first for me, but I'm going to use some hot dog holders. Yes, I thought the pattern on this was really cute, and I thought I could do something with that. So I'm going to take one of my hot dog holders, I'm going to lay it on top of my sign, and I'm just going to press all around it so I have a nice indent where that sign is, and I can take my scissors and cut that out. Once I have it cut out, I'm just going to use my glue stick on this one. I'm going to go all around it, and then I'm going to add my paper to the middle of the sign. Now I'm also going to go around the edges with my Waverly Wax and Antique. I'm just trying to kind of blend that paper in with the sides a little bit, and then it also does add a nice rustic touch to your piece. I'm going to take these window clings from the Dollar Tree. I thought these were so cute, and the little I Heart USA down there on the right was perfect for this one. Now, when you put it right on top, it is kind of see-through, so I'm going to put some Mod Podge on the back of this, and I'm going to stick it down to a piece of paper so that it isn't completely see-through when I lay it down on top of my piece. And I'm just going to cut that out, and I'm going to trim that paper around all the sides so it looks like one nice piece. Once I have that cut out, I'm just going to add some more Mod Podge to the back and glue it right to the middle of my sign. I'll kind of go over the top a little bit too so that I make sure it's nice and stuck down there. And that's it for this DIY. This was so easy, and you never know what kind of things that you can use for some DIYs. So don't pass up those hot dog holders because you can definitely do some cute DIYs with them. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of these round wooden signs from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm also going to take some scrapbook paper. This is a single sheet of scrapbook paper that you can also get from my website. I thought this one was really fun, but I loved the red and white stripes for this DIY, so I'm going to take my round, I'm going to lay it on top and trace it out with a pen, and then I'll just take my scissors and cut that circle out. Next, I'm going to take my glue stick and just glue my paper to the sign. Again, you can use whatever adhesive you want. I get a lot of people ask me why I use a glue stick and not Mod Podge. I am not super confident in myself, in my Mod Podging skills. When it comes to big pieces of paper like this, I usually mess it up and it gets all wrinkly, so that's why I use a glue stick, but you use whatever you like. Now I'm going to take these window clings from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take this truck, which I think is so cute, and I laid this down on top, and you can definitely see those stripes through the truck. So what I'm going to do is take a thicker piece of white cardstock. I'm going to add some Mod Podge to the back of my truck, and like the project before, we are going to glue this down to the paper so that your truck isn't see-through anymore and it can be clearly seen on your sign without blending in too much. And then I just brushed a little bit of Mod Podge over the top of the truck as well. I waited for that to completely dry, and then I just took my scissors and cut around the entire thing. Now I'm going to take my glue stick, and maybe some Mod Podge would have worked best for this, but it was getting kind of wrinkly. I didn't want to mess it up. So it's kind of like an experiment. I got to figure out what kind of adhesive is going to work best for each of my projects. So I used a mixture of some glue stick and some Mod Podge for this one, but just get your truck stuck down towards the bottom portion of your sign. Then you're going to take some greenery, whichever greenery you want. I got this one from Michael's, and I grabbed this burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to make a bow with it, so I just cut out a piece for my loop. I add some hot glue onto the back and loop that together so you got one big loop, and then I just take some more for a tail, kind of measure how long I want that tail to be, and then I'll stack that loop on top of the tail, take some twine, wrap that right in the middle and scrunch it all up as best as I can, and wrap that twine around the middle several times and tie a double knot in the back. So really easy to make these bows. I need to learn another way to make them. I've seen some other people make them even easier than this, so I will definitely do that. But this is how I make mine, and I love the twine middle two of them as well. Now I'm just going to hot glue down my greenery to the top portion of my sign, and then I'll take my bow and hot glue that down to the middle of my greenery. You could add a hanger on the back of this, make it a door hanger, put it on a shelf, really whatever you want to do. I think this one turned out super cute. Now for this DIY, this one was kind of a mistake. It still turned out cute, but not what I had envisioned, so I thought I'd just throw it in there for you guys to see. I grabbed these cute wooden fireworks from Hobby Lobby. They were $2.99 for a pack of 3, and then I grabbed this sign from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to take some more of this scrapbook paper. This is actually the other side of the Star Spangled Banner scrapbook paper that I used in a previous project, and I'm just measuring out the size of the inner portion of the sign so that I can just cut that out and pop that right in. The nice thing about this sign was there was a little bit of room that I could put my paper down in there and it would just kind of wiggle into place, which was nice. For the 3 fireworks, I started by using some white Waverly chalk paint and just going around those back edges for all 3 of my fireworks. And then for the rest of them, I'm going to use some paint pens. Now my idea was to paint the 2 fireworks that were kind of curved with my red paint, and then for that middle one to paint it blue so that the red was on top of the blue scrapbook paper and then the blue was in the middle on top of the 2 red fireworks. I wasn't paying attention, obviously. I painted one of the curved fireworks in the blue color, so it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but it still turned out pretty cute. So I just use my Arteza paint pens to color those pieces, and then I'm just going to hot glue those down to my sign, the 2 curved ones on the bottom and then that straight one right on top. And that's it for today's DIY. I hope that you guys enjoyed these. Again, stay tuned for part 2 of my Patriotic and July 4th DIYs. These next ones are going to be all wood, wood DIYs, all sorts of different kind of wood DIYs that you can make for 4th of July or patriotic decor. So keep an eye out for that one. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!